ਧਨ 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 ਜਨ ਆਇਆ, ਜਿਸ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਸਭ ਜਗਤ ਤੁਰਾਇਆ। ਜਨ ਆਵਣ ਕਾ ਇਹ ਸੋ, ਜਨ ਕੈ ਸੰਗ ਚਿਤ ਆਵੈ ਨਾਉ। ਆਪ ਮੁਕਤ ਮੁਕਤ ਕਰੇ ਸੰਸਾਰ, ਨਾਨਕ ਤਿਸ ਜਨ ਕੋ ਸਦਾ ਨਮਸਕਾਰ। ਗੁਰੂ ਪਿਆਰੀ Guru Swari Sadh Sangat Ji. Today is a very blessed day once again. Tan Tan Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj in their grace has allowed for this youth smagam to take place, and Sangat Ji, before the Aramta of this Katha, let us all place our Hazri in this Darbar. Sarbat Sangat, please join me in the blessed Fateh of Tan Tan Shri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. Akho ji, Waheguru ji ka Khalsa, Waheguru ji ki Fateh. Sadh Sangat Ji, this Samagam has been dedicated to the supreme heightened being Tan Tan Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj. Sadh Sangat Ji, such a being who has demonstrated the most supreme sacrifice in world history. And Sangat Ji, once again, it is important to say that we cannot say everything about the Jeevani of the Guru in just 30 minutes, but rather we will be looking into glimpses of their life. So Sadh Sangat Ji, Tan Tan Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj, they were the son of the 6th Guru, Shri Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Maharaj. And Sadh Sangat Ji, in childhood, from childhood, they had a nature of detachment. Now, being attached doesn't mean that you live somewhere in the mountains or you're going out somewhere in the world. Sangat Ji, Tan Tan Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj themselves tells us in their Bani, Kahe re man khojan jai. They say, what are you doing looking for God in the jungle? Kat hi pitar basai niranjan, God abides within you, the Guru is telling us. So Sangat Ji, it is not necessary that just because you live in the world that you're indulged in the world. And it is not necessary just because you live out of the world that you have become freed from the world. The Guru has shown us how to live in this world but still remain detached. And Sadh Sangat Ji, this is exactly what Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj had embodied. They were given the name Tyag. Tyag again means detachment. But Sangat Ji, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj, they would go and fight battles alongside their father, Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji. And when they were witnessed in battle, they showed such mastery of the sword, they showed such mastery in battle. Sangat Ji, their name, they were then given the name of Tegh Bahadur. Tegh itself means sword, Bahadur means warrior, Sadh Sangat Ji. So they embodied that saintly soldier, the Sant Sipahi, Sangat Ji. Now Sangat Ji, of course we know it was not from birth that were given the Gurgaddi. Before them, it was Tan Tan Shri Guru Har Krishna Ji Maharaj, our 8th Guru. And Sangat Ji, when it was time for the 8th Guru to leave the physical form, to merge within the light, to take upon the next vessel, of course the Sikhs would want to know who would be the next vessel, where is the next Guru going to be. The 8th Guru gave them the ashara, they told them Baba Bakala, that the Guru resides in Bakala. Now what happened during this time? When we look at a diamond is very precious. A diamond is very beautiful, Sangat Ji. But you can go to many stores today and you can find accessories that look just like a diamond. They feel just like a diamond, but they're in fact fake. They're nothing but a copy, Sad Sangat Ji. They're not real. And in the same way, when the 8th Guru had now told the Sikh Sangatan that the next Guru is going to be in Bakala, that Sangat Ji, many so-called Gurus got ready and prepared. Bhai Mandiya, they say there were 22 people who started claiming themselves as the Guru and sat down as if they were the next Guru. Now, of course, Sangat Ji, the Sikhs were going to be confused. If you walked in today and you saw 22 people claiming to be the same person, you would of course be confused. Now, during this time, there was a Sikh by the name of Makhan Shah. And Sangat Ji, he was a Sikh who kept a lot of devotion, a lot of faith for the house of the Guru, and he was also very rich at the time. What was happening one day? Upon his travels overseas, on the boat, of course, Sangat Ji, he had realized that something had gone wrong with the boat, and the boat was now drowning. And of course, if you're on that boat, you will drown as well, Sangat Ji. Being a believer in the Guru, having high devotion for the Guru, by Makhan Shah, he comes into his focus, he does a ardas from the bottom of his heart to the true Guru. He does a ardas to be saved from such a situation, as if he was not, it would be his end. Sangat Ji, the prayer was heard, the ardas was heard, and he survived. And he thought to himself, Sad Sangat Ji, that when I go back and I see the true Guru, they had listened to my ardas, I'm going to give them 500 mora, which is a lot for the time. And so they get back, Sad Sangat Ji, now what does he find? He sees 22 so-called Gurus. So he himself does not know what is going on. He goes around, he bows to each one, places a few coins in front of everyone. Of course, the so-called Gurus were going to get happy because they were there, Sangat Ji, for that purpose anyways. But Bhai Makhan Shah knew that within him, he did that ardas, it was fulfilled, and he knew, Sangat Ji, that if the Guru was really true, then they would know what I was thinking. They would know that I wanted to give them 500 mora specifically. They go around all these so-called Gurus, and he realizes this is all that's here is broken glass. There's no diamonds to be found. And he asks around, he says, is there any more Mahampurukh here? Is there any more saint that abides in this area? And through inquiry, he finds out there is someone called Tegh. And they call him crazy. Why did they call him crazy, Sad Sangat Ji? Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj would spend large amounts of their day in bandagi, in Simran, immersed in the Simran, the meditation of Waheguru. And so, of course, the worldly people, Sad Sangat Ji, they cannot recognize the greatness of the saints. They thought he was crazy. Bhai Makhan Shah decides that he'll go to him. When he gets there, Sad Sangat Ji, Mata Gujari is at the front. And he asked if he can go in, and Mataji tells them, well, he's probably immersed in Simran right now, and they would not want to disturb him. But the Sikh, the Guru Sikh, insisted that he must have darshan of the Guru. He goes inside, and Sangat Ji, he sees such a radiant glow on the face of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj. Of course, Sad Sangat Ji, the Guru themselves are the form of Waheguru. And that glow was reflected in their face. Just like they did before, they go and bow down Sad Sangat Ji to the feet. They place a couple coins. And now let's be clear, the Guru doesn't care about how much money you give them. But Sangat Ji, just to make them realize what was the real diamond in all that broken glass. The Guru is antarjami, vin bolya sab kuch janda. They had heard that prayer and they knew what the Guru Sikh wanted to do as well. They say you've only placed a few. Where's the 500 you promised? Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji mentioned. Immediately the Guru Sikh Bhai Makhan Shah realized that this is more than just the Gurus that he had seen before. But Sangat Ji, another doubt came into his mind. And what was this doubt? He thought that maybe he just did some bandagi and obtained some sort of spiritual ability. We know, Sangat Ji, what we see as miraculous abilities is like child's play for the saints. It happens all around them all the time, but they're not attached to such things. What Bhai Makhan Shah thought is maybe Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji just did some simran. He obtained the ability to understand what's going on in someone's mind. But that doesn't mean he's a true Guru. Now, of course, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji lifts this param as well. What Guruji does, Sangat Ji, is they reveal their shoulder. And once the shoulder is seen, they see the mark that had gotten there after they had adjusted that boat. After they had saved that boat from drowning Sangat Ji, by their own shoulder, they showed Makhan Shah the marks that were left on that ark. And immediately when this happens, he knew, Sangat Ji, that this was in fact the true Guru. This was the Guru that heard my ardas and saved me from drowning. And again, Sangat Ji, when we hear these sakhiyan, let us not be foolish to bring doubt in our mind. Who was the Guru? The Guru is the form of Waheguru themselves. The 9th form of Guru Nanak that manifested on this world. And what a shame it may be that we try to compare them to everyday people. This was nothing for the Guru. So continuing by Makhan Shah, he comes in a state of Vairag. What is Vairag? If we take the example, let's say there's two family members that really love each other. When one of them passes away, what will the other do naturally? They'll become sad. They may cry out for that loved one. Sangat Ji, they may long for that loved one. They may come into detachment as they realize that this death will come to them as well. That is Vairag. And Vairag, Sangat Ji, if one ever obtains Vairag for the Guru, a longing for the Guru, a longing of Waheguru themselves, that itself is a gift of the Guru. That itself is a gift of Waheguru. So by Makhan Shah is Vairag, he falls to the feet, recognizing the true Guru. And Sangat Ji, he goes to the top of the roof and says, Guru Lado Re, the true Guru has been found. Of course, the ceremony takes place of the Gurtagati. Now Sangat Ji, during the time that Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj was the Guru, Aurangzeb, the corrupt emperor at the time, had got on a mission to convert every single person to Islam. And just a little background, Aurangzeb was such a being, Sangat Ji, he killed his own family members so he can sit on the throne. He kept his own father in confinement. He wouldn't even give him enough water to drink every day. Sangat Ji. So this was the character of the person we're talking about. And he goes out on a mission that he wants to convert every Hindu, anyone of any other faith, to Islam only. So what would happen to Sangat Ji? He would of course send his men out. And if they could convince them by words, then they would. If not, then they would scare them, threat them. If they were convinced by those threats, then good. If they still did not want to give up their dharma, then they would be killed. And the Jandu, which is a sacred thread, Sangat Ji, it is a symbol of their identity, of the Hindu faith. It represents a lot for them. And those were taken off, Sangat Ji. Aurangzeb, it is said, would only eat if he saw a certain amount of jandu taken off in a certain day. And Sangat Ji, that quantity is very high in numbers. A thread, how much could it weigh? They say Savaman, which has weight to it. So you can imagine how many threads it would take to build weight And he would be waiting until that many were taken off, meaning that many people were converted or killed before he would even eat something. Such was the character. What he came to realize, Sangat Ji, is he said, if I do this one by one, it'll take a while. Because there was a large population of these Hindus. So of course the next logical thing that comes into his mind is if you can get to the leader of these people, then maybe it'll make the process faster. Of course, if you go to the leader, Sangat Ji, who has a lot of followers, if the leader gives in, if the leader changes, it is likely the followers would follow, or their faith would break even faster. This was the thinking behind this. So there was someone by the name of Pandit Kirpa Dutt, and he was a leader, Sangat Ji. There was hundreds of Pandit that followed this person. And so the message had come to him. And Sangat Ji, of course, they were there to convert him. But he was steadfast in his dharma. He did not want to give up the Hindu faith. He was ready to accept death. What Pandit Kirpa Dutt does, he asks for more time, Sangat Ji. He wants to find a solution. What they end up doing, Sangat Ji, himself and all of those hundreds of followers, they go to a holy pilgrimage, the holy shrine, a mandir if we may call it. And Sangat Ji, they immerse themselves in deep devotion of Shivji. Of course, Sangat Ji, that is a very respected being in their faith, a very great being for them. So when they need help, they need support, they will of course seek such a being. They go to that mandir, immerse themselves in meditation, devotion of Shivji. And Sangat Ji, what ends up happening is they receive a message. And this message tells them that you must go to the one that sits on the throne of Guru Nanak. And of course, during that time, Sangat Ji, who was this? It was Tan Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj. They say only that individual who sits on the throne of Guru Nanak is the avatar of Kaljug. They say he is the one that can protect you, that can save you. So Sangat Ji, following the message they had received, they come to the sanctuary of Tan Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj, our ninth Guru. They express their distress. They explain the situation of how their entire faith is at risk. Sangat Ji, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj realized that in a certain circumstance, a great saint, a great Mahapurkh would need to give a sacrifice. Now Shri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj was sitting with them during that time, young Shri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. And they say to their father, who can be a better person than you? There is no Mahapurkh, there is no saint greater than you, Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. You are the most fitting for such a sacrifice. So Sangat Ji, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj, they make their way to Aurangzeb. And alongside them there were Gursikhs that had went as well. And Sangat Ji, what ends up happening is an idea comes to these people's minds. Again, what was their thinking? They wanted Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji to accept Islam. And of course, if they can do that, then Sangat Ji, everybody else would. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji had told Pandit Kirpa Dutt that you can tell Aurangzeb that Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji will stand as the leader of all Sikhs and all Hindus. They were standing for all of humanity at that time. So Sangat Ji, as they get there, an idea comes. They say, if we can get the Gursikhs to break, if we kill them in front of the Guru's eyes, then maybe he'll get scared. Maybe he'll give in. So there was three loving Gursikhs, Sangat Ji, Bhai Matidas, Bhai Satidas, Bhai Dayala Ji. And it is time for their Shahidi to take place. They tell them, do you have any last wishes? And Sangat Ji, they wished for nothing but except when it was the time for their Shahidi, they wanted to be facing Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj. They say, when you will take our life, and we leave this physical body, may we be facing towards our Guru. May we be facing towards Waheguru themselves. So Sangat Ji 1 was sawed in half. Let us just take some time to contemplate this. A lot of us have gotten a paper cut before. It's nothing unbearable, Sangat Ji, but it makes you kind of uncomfortable for a short period of time. Maybe some of you have cut before with a knife or something else. Now imagine, Sangat Ji, a saw. And there's one person on one end, there's another on the other end, and both of them are going back and forth, back and forth. Imagine what is going on in that moment, Sangat Ji. How unbearable must that be? But Saz Sangat Ji, that Gursikh remained attuned to Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. And it is said, Sangat Ji, that even when that body was cut in half, you can still hear Japji Sahib being recited from both sides of that body. Saz Sangat Ji, some of us may have been burnt before, maybe touched something hot, or drank something hot. Maybe in the shower, and your hand accidentally hit the ledge and it turned too hot for a moment. And that may leave marks in our body. Now imagine, Sangat Ji, that you were sat in a burning hot pot of water. You can't move. You can't change the temperature back to cool. You're sitting there enduring it, but still that Gursikh remains immersed in Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. And Sangat Ji, if you touch something hot, you'll be able to move your hand away. But now imagine, you were wrapped in cotton, you can't move. And then you were set on fire. You can't call for help. You can't grab water. You can't move. How do you endure this? But still, Saz Sangat Ji, that Gursikh remains attuned to Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. Such great Gursikhs of our history, Saz Sangat Ji, there's a reason they will be remembered. Now Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji witnesses all this. And now the time has come. They are given the choice once again. They say, convert to Islam. They say, if you do so, your name will be very great. You'll be seen as a great faqir in the Islam faith. They gave them another option. You can show us miraculous abilities. Now Sangat Ji, these fools didn't understand. 3 miracles just took place in front of them through the Shahidi of the Gursikhs. Miracles are child's play in the house of the Guru, but they happen in the hukam of Waheguru. They don't happen because some corrupt ruler wants entertainment. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji was not going to show any miracles. So of course the only option left was Shahidi. They were asked what the last wishes, Saz Sangat Ji, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj. They do Ishnan. They sit down and recite Shri Japji Sahib Path. And that itself is something to contemplate, Sangat Ji. What a Shrestha Bani that the Guru, before leaving this physical form, decided to read that Bani. How great must Japji Sahib be, Saz Sangat Ji? It is a supreme gift from our Guru. So Saz Sangat Ji, from Ik Oankar, to Jinni Naam Te Aaya Gai Mashakat Kaal, Nanak Te Mukh Ujle Kiti Chutti Naal. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj recites Shri Japji Sahib, and through the Ashara, the blade comes down and their Shahidi takes place, Saz Sangat Ji. My brothers and sisters, there's something very important to understand. There are people today who wish to break our faith. There are people today who try to divert us away from the truth. They'll openly say, I don't know where these people get the audacity. They'll say that never happened. They say there's no Shahidi, your gurus died from depression. These are the things they'll say, Sangat Ji, and I'm sure you might be able to find these videos online. Okay, I don't know what's giving these people this audacity, Sangat Ji. But what you have to realize, Sangat Ji, is you have to be knowledgeable. You have to know your own history. This was not listed by just Gursikhs. This was written down by Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj themselves, the son of Guru Tegh Bahadur, who was present at that time. The reason they try to twist our history, Sangat Ji, is because we will gain immense knowledge from it. We will learn the very things that will not allow others to oppress us, that will not allow others to control us, and those beings who want to control us, those beings who want to oppress us, Sangat Ji, they will try to break our faith. So you must know who you are. You must know you are sitting in the house of the most supreme Guru, the avatar of Akal Jug, Tan Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. You are sitting in their sanctuary. The same Guru that gave the Shahidi in the 9th form, the same Guru that gave the Shahidi in the 5th form, Sangat Ji. The same Guru with whom countless Singhs and Singhniya gave Shahidi for the Panth. Bhai Jagraj Singh Ji, we know his name. Such an incredible Gurmukh. He would say one thing, he would say, arm yourself with the knowledge. Arm yourself with the knowledge. If someone comes today and tells you your Guru died from depression and you don't know your history, what will you do? We must know who we are. Alongside this Sangat Ji, I request my brothers and sisters to be physically strong. I advise you to learn martial arts. I advise you to get training in weaponry. Not just swords and kirpans, but in modern weapons as well. If someone came today and told you you can't read Gurbani anymore, what will you do? Will you put your hands together? What will the Guru think? He says, I gave you weapons. Did you not learn how to use them? The Guru saved the others who could not save themselves. Will we allow ourselves to get in the same situation the Guru saved us from? And we might be thinking we're living in some fantasy that everything is going all right in the world, but Sangat Ji, it is not. If you take a look around you carefully, Sangat Ji, there's some terrible things taking place at this moment. And if we do not connect to our history, learn from it, and go upon the teachings that the Guru have told us, Sangat Ji, we will become the very people we were saved from becoming. So Sangat Ji, leaving it at that, Tan Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj, such a supreme, Shrestha being. Let us be thankful that we were born in the house of such a Guru, and let us try to connect to such a Guru. How can we remember them? By connecting directly to the body they have left us. Beet jai hai, janam akaj re. Your life is passing, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj says. Koho nanak sun re mana durlabh manukh de. They say, listen carefully, this human life was hard for you to obtain. Don't let it go to waste. Ram simar, iha tera kaaj hai. Don't let it go to waste. Meditate, do Simran of Waheguru. This is what you are to be doing. So let us instill these bachan into our lives. Sangat Ji, you have all listened with much love and patience. Sarbat Sangat da bahut dhanwad. And thank you all again, Sangat Ji. I thank these Gurmukhs again. God bless this Hazari. And let us now join with the next program. Forgive all mistakes. Please join me in the blessed Fateh of Dhan Dhan Shri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. Akho ji, Waheguru ji ka Khalsa, Waheguru ji ki Fateh.